Hello, I'm Brendan McComb, Principal of St Mary's Christian Brothers Grammar School in Belfast. Thank you for choosing to watch our 2026 virtual SEAG registration presentation. Presenting information in this format will allow parents to take their time to pause slides to digest and review important information throughout. We're excited about hosting SEAG assessments again in November 2026, and we hope that you choose St Mary's as a venue for your child's assessment. General information. St Mary's is one of 63 schools in the north of Ireland which use the SEAG assessment for academic selection. The outcomes of the 2026 assessment will be used within all 63 schools' Year 8 admissions criteria for September 2027. Parents and guardians considering one or more of these 63 schools should register for the assessment. Please note, there is a separate admissions procedure for all children with a statement of special educational needs. This is coordinated by the Education Authority and is separate from SEAG. Key dates. The registration period is open from Monday the 18th of May 2026 to Friday the 18th of September 2026. The SEAG Entrance Assessment Paper 1 takes place on Saturday the 14th of November 2026, with Paper 2 taking place on Saturday the 21st of November 2026. Outcomes will be released on Saturday the 23rd of January 2027. Please note that the 28th of November 2026 is this year's contingency assessment day, in case there is a need to change the date of either Paper 1 or Paper 2. It's really important that parents understand that only those registered can sit the assessment. The registration period is open for 4 months, 124 days in total. Do not leave it to the last minute to register. The entrance assessment consists of 2 assessment papers taken 1 week apart. Pupils sit both papers. It is not a choice between sitting Paper 1 or Paper 2. Last year, SEAG facilitated a late registration period. However, there is no guarantee that this will be the case for 2026. The next number of slides detail the registration process. Parents or guardians will use the portal on the SEAG website to register their child by completing a pupil application. Please be aware you need to have the following documentation to hand: either a birth certificate, a passport, or a residence permit, and a pupil photograph. If claiming exemption from the £20 registration fee, evidence of current free school meals eligibility entitlement must be provided. If this applies to you, please pause the presentation at this point and read all of the information carefully. This slide contains information on last year's registration process. Last year, around 10% of all parents left it until the last week before trying to register, and some forgot to register. Also last year, there were errors in around 10% of pupil application forms. Please prepare well and take time to fill in the form accurately. Pay close attention to the review page to ensure all info has been entered correctly. Please feel free to pause and review the information in more detail. Please note, parents or guardians can choose to set up a recovery email address, and SEAG strongly recommends that you do this. If you choose not to have a recovery email and later you cannot log into your main email account, it will not be possible for you to access your account. The registration process. Pupil application. Step 1 of 10. Pupil details. Details about the pupil who is being registered must be entered. Information entered must be identical to the information on the birth certificate, passport, or residence permit. Step 2 of 10. Pupil photograph. A passport style photo showing the head and shoulders of the pupil must be uploaded. Step 3 of 10. Pupil ID. A copy of the birth certificate, passport, or residence permit is uploaded to confirm the identity of the pupil. Please note, When registering your child, a parent or guardian can save the details and return to complete the process later. Feel free to pause this information and review. Step 4. Essential information for the days of the assessment. The assessment centre provides pencils, rubbers, and rough work paper for your child. If required, your child may bring a highlighter pen or a pencil grip. If your child needs to have any other item with them, parent or guardian must make an application for access arrangements. This slide contains some examples of access arrangements that may be applied for. Step 5. Will you need to request access arrangements? Access arrangements are reasonable adjustments made for the SEAG entrance assessment for children with specific substantive needs. At this step, parents or guardians must answer yes or no to 4 important questions regarding access arrangements. If the answer is yes to any of these 4 questions, you will be directed to the detailed access arrangements section later in the pupil application. Step 5. Access arrangements. The next 2 slides provide further information on access arrangements and medical conditions. Feel free to pause and digest this information if this applies to your child. Step 6. Primary school details. Parent or guardian enters details of the child's primary school. Step 7. Secondary contact details. The parent or guardian enters details of another contact person. Step 8. Choosing an assessment centre. The parent or guardian selects from a drop-down list the SEAG school which would be most convenient for their child to sit the assessment. Step 8. Assessment language. Selecting Gaeilge directs the parent to a choice of the available assessment centres which provide the Gaeilge version. The invigilation will be in Irish for those pupils. 12 of our assessment centres across the country can provide the Gaeilge version of the entrance assessment as well as the English version. St Mary's is one of those centres. Step 9. Review all the information you have included. Many submitted pupil applications can contain errors. The review page lets parents see everything they have added so that they can carefully check if it is absolutely correct. If there are any errors, the wrong assessment centre selected, name typed in doesn't match the name on the ID document, then this is the opportunity to correct these errors. Step 9. Assessment declaration. Confirm that all the information you have provided is accurate, that you accept any liability for providing inaccurate information. Finally, agree the terms and conditions. Step 10. Payment and free school meals payment exemption. As part of the pupil application process, parent or guardian is required to pay a non-refundable administration fee of £20 through a secure online payment method. Those entitled to free school meals are exempt from the administration fee, but must provide necessary verification provided by the Education Authority of free school meal status when registering. Please pause if this information applies to you and you would like to read further details. The registration process after the payment step. When the administration fee payment has been made or approved free school meal payment exemption evidence has been submitted, the pupil's place at the selected assessment centre is secured. The assessment centre you selected will be where your child sits the assessment. Parents receive email confirmation that they have registered a pupil pending verification by SEAG. SEAG will only contact parents if there is an issue with verifying the application. You can check the status of your application at any time. Additional notes on the registration process. Parents who answered yes to one or more of the 4 access arrangement questions can submit the access arrangements request at a later time within the registration period if they choose. After a parent submits an access arrangements request, it is reviewed separately by an access panel. The parent will receive an email once an access arrangements decision has been made. If a claim for free school meals cannot be verified because of inadequate evidence, the parent will be asked to provide the specific evidence which is needed. If they cannot do this, they will receive an email stating that payment is required. Change of details. A parent or guardian can edit parts of the pupil application after submission. Changing assessment centre. To change the selected assessment centre after submitting the pupil application, parents must complete a new pupil application and withdraw the old one. Parents can download the pupil card, which includes the photo that they uploaded from about the 9th of October 2026. This should be brought to the assessment centre with you on the days of the assessments. The registration process requesting access arrangements. It is really important to read the access arrangements policy, procedures and guidance. If an access arrangement is being requested, parents indicate the relevant access arrangements and upload the documentary evidence to support the request. If you will be submitting access arrangements applications, I advise that you pause and review this information carefully. The entrance assessment papers. Details of format and specification are available on the SEAG website, along with a guidance notes for parents section. In summary, the entrance assessment consists of paper 1 and paper 2. They have identical formats and are the same as the SEAG practice papers, available at no cost on the SEAG website. Each starts with a practice test section containing 5 English or Gaelic questions and 5 maths questions. The practice test section is followed by an English or Gaelic section, which has 28 questions, and then a maths section, which also has 28 questions. Spelling is only assessed in the spelling exercise, not in the free response answers. Invigilators will also tell pupils when they have about 30 minutes left and when they have about 10 minutes left. When completing a multiple choice answer on the answer sheet, a pupil may draw a horizontal line or shade in the little box. Both are equally acceptable. For further clarity on the SEAG assessment, please pause and review this slide. SEAG outcomes. Parents or guardians receive a statement of outcomes which have 5 main outcomes. The first 2 outcomes are the ones most likely to be used by SEAG schools within their Year 8 admissions criteria. The other 3 outcomes provide additional information for parents and schools. 1. The total standardised age score. 2. The band. 3. The English or Gaelic standardised age score. 4. The maths standardised age score. And 5. Information about the cohort percentile ranking. The first outcome, the total standardised age score. This is what St Mary's use in their admissions criteria. This is the pupil's overall outcome from the SEAG entrance assessment based on answers to the 56 English or Gaelic questions in papers 1 and paper 2 and the 56 maths questions in paper 1 and paper 2. The total standardised age score range will be 138 to 282 with a mean or average of 200. A standardised age score takes account of a child's age when he or she took the assessment, the number of correct answers, and the degree of difficulty of the assessment. The second outcome, the band. There are 6 bands. Cohort percentiles are used to determine the borderline of each band. 60% plus is a band 1. This means pupils who are in the top 40% of those who set the assessment. 50 to 59% is a band 2. It means pupils who are in the top 50% but not in the top 40%. The third outcome, the English or Gaelic standardised age score. And the fourth outcome, the Maths standardised age score. Feel free to pause here to gain a further understanding of these. The fifth outcome, information about the cohort percentile ranking. This slide provides further information regarding cohort percentile ranking. Please feel free to pause and review. Parents and guardians will also be provided with 12 raw score outcomes. The raw score outcomes are not standardised. They tell how many questions the child answered correctly, but provide no information as to how these scores compare with those of all the pupils who sat the assessment. There are a number of reasons why parents receive different types of outcomes. These reasons are detailed on this slide. Sitting just one of the two papers. SEAG is very clear that its entrance assessment consists of two papers. Pupils who only take one paper will not have completed the full entrance assessment. Such pupils will, however, have their single paper marked by GL assessment. The SEAG board has determined that pupils who sit only one paper should be provided with a standardised age score and a band outcome to reflect their performance. Outcomes for pupils who only sit one paper will have the designation E for estimate immediately after the outcome. It is the responsibility of each academically selective school, not SEAG, to set out within its 2027 Year 8 admissions criteria how it will treat estimated outcomes through special provisions. After the registration period has ended, SEAG will make available to each assessing centre a file containing details of every pupil registered to sit the entrance assessment in that school. Each SEAG school assessment centre will make all the practical arrangements for the pupils who will sit the entrance assessment in their school. By mid-October 2026, communicate directly with each parent or guardian whose child or children are sitting the assessment in their school. They will liaise with parents and guardians as appropriate if there are particular medical or other needs. It is envisaged that each assessment centre will hold a familiarisation session in the centre by the 7th of November 2026 to help children prepare for their first time there on the 14th and 21st of November. St Mary's session will be held in October 2026. Pupils can only be admitted to the assessment centre if they are registered to sit the entrance assessment. If a child cannot attend one of the two entrance assessment dates, the parent or guardian must inform the assessment centre as soon as it is practically possible to do so. More specific details regarding the role of the SEAG school will be available closer to the assessment dates. Further information about SEAG and the 2026 entrance assessment, including registration, is available on the SEAG website, on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Thank you for taking the time to watch our virtual SEAG 2026 registration presentation. We hope it has been useful and informative. For any specific queries in relation to your child sitting their SEAG assessment in St Mary's, please do not hesitate to contact us.